And good morning, everyone. We are live. Another Wednesday morning Nailing FX session coming to you from Bien Hoa, Dong Nai province in Vietnam, where this morning at 9 o'clock, it was about 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. I'm broadcasting to you from the Pegasus Plaza in downtown Bien Hoa. A little bit of technical difficulties this morning. Don't know why, but my webcam doesn't seem to want to pick up. And unfortunately, you couldn't hear that cool music for the intro. So here we go. Let's get started. Here is the August schedule. Today is Wednesday the 5th, 10 a.m. in Vietnam. And I'm broadcasting to you on Epic Street. Next Wednesday, I'm scheduled to be on YouTube, so be a little bit different. Remember, if you go to www.tradewithufos.com/OPA, click on the Get Together button at the top, sign in, costs you nothing, and you'll get all of the schedule information. All right, so quickly, here is the disclaimer. The following videos, clips, demonstrations are for educational and instructional purposes only. Tradedictive and I do not provide these videos for anything other than demonstration purposes and a method for using the products we show you. Users understand that all the content used in the video is purely for demonstration purposes only and is not a guide or a recommendation to take any trades. It does not provide any indication or prediction of actual results. As a user, you understand and agree that hypothetical results obtained through the demonstrations do not indicate in any way the results you may receive by using the products. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and see what's on for today. In today's session, we will review the Euro-USD trade that we put on last session, which, by the way, may still be live. I will see in a little while. I'm going to introduce you to the 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern. You'll see that on the charts, and we'll obviously look at multiple time frames. We correlate data with TradingView, monitor and manage the trades with multiple time frames, and hopefully we'll get a chance to get into some hunting for new trades. So here we go. And let me see who is on board here. All right, we've got a couple of folks on board. Thank you for tuning in. Let's continue. All right, here's the review from last week. You remember, here's the daily chart, what we were looking at. And what's really significant here is the hard number that we were, that I was focusing on for the entry. So last Wednesday at around 11 a.m., my local time, I put on a bracket order waiting for the fill. It was a sell limit at 1.19000. Okay, so that's a hard number. The the stop loss was at 1.2050. About 150 pips above, and the profit was down at 1.1630. That was about 270 pips below. So it was a good risk-reward ratio there. And why did I do that? Well, again, on the daily chart here, we saw that there was significant strength to the upside because the profile was showing a 100% sequence up, blue, red, green, brown, and down here on the MACD, we could see that the MACD was positive. The blue lines were above zero, so it was positive. Plus, it was rising. We can see these dots here, the little triangles on the MACD. Moved above the signal line and kept rising. So that was an indication that price could continue to go up. Furthermore, when we switched over to the TradingView chart, we could see here are the startup All right, here we had the bottom of a sell zone. So that I put my stop loss, I set the sell limit down here at the base of the sell zone. Because it was a hard number, price could pierce that. It could go through, and then at the top, just above the sell zone, I put the stop. And then down here, I saw that we had some nice move to the downside here. And that was the top of the buy zone. We could see that the arrows here indicated that price would want to start to come down. However, it did not. You can see this continuing phase here showing that price wants to go down. And these are alert arrows. You can see this alert arrow right here is the same one that comes in here. On my MT4 chart, I don't keep all of the previous alert arrows. They are removed, so I only have the one that's most significant. All right, so let's see. That was on Wednesday. Thursday, nothing basically happened. So here is the actual Wednesday order. You can see the order number, the time that was put in. That is again server time. It was a sell limit on the Euro USD, where the sell limit price was 1.90. That was a hard number. The stop loss above the 150, take profit, and that was put on when the price was about in this area right here. Okay, and so Thursday, nothing really happened. Price continued to move around and climb slowly. Looking at a 1 hour chart here now on Friday, you can see Friday at 1 o'clock my local time. I took a look here and I saw that early Friday morning, probably close to the beginning of the session, again, this is the arrow here, or I'm sorry, this is the period here at the 10 o'clock time, at the 1 p.m. time frame. So there's still plenty of time for this to come. But looking back, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 hours earlier, you can see that price did in fact go up and touch, pierce with enough, because there's only 2 points, 2/10 of a pip that it had to enter into that sell limit, and took me into the trade. So on Friday, 2 days later, Wednesday, put it on. Thursday, nothing really happened, continued to climb towards the sell limit. And on Friday, early Friday morning, we actually got into that trade, or I got into that trade. And again, looking down here, you can see that the profile continues to show strong. By the way, one of the things we're doing today is I'm going to show you the 1, 2, 3 potential reversal trades. And so what you're seeing here, these arrows that point to the right, okay, you see the blue arrow pointing to the right here and the red arrow pointing to the right, okay? Those arrows that are pointing to the right, those are the 1, 2, 3 reversal arrows. And what do they tell you? Basically, when this 1, 2, 3 reversal comes in, it tells you that you have a very strong pivot at this point, okay? And I will go into the details. These arrows that are pointing down and pointing up, those are the ones that we've talked about in the past. Those are the alerts, the alert arrows, right? So those are alerts. So here we see, again, a 1, 2, 3 reversal right near the top of the hard number 1.19 and all the zeros there, okay? So now looking down at the MACD, we start to see the blue stopped and we got a red indication, which meant that even though the MACD was still positive, the strength of that positive move is beginning to diminish, right? The strength is beginning to diminish. It's still positive. Price can definitely go up. This might have been only a pullback, a little bit of a retracement, but that red diamond there tells me that price is starting to diminish. And that is exactly what we wanted it to do, because we wanted it to come up, take us in, and then drop, because we put on a sell limit order. All right, so the next thing we see here, moving to the 15-minute chart on Friday, you see here at about 1:30, here we see again where price actually took us in right there, and now we're coming down. So look at these 1, 2, 3 reversal arrows. Basically, what you're looking at is when you get this, when I got this red arrow here, it's telling me that I have a low pivot. I have low pivot, a significant low pivot, okay? Not every pivot is significant, but this is a significant low pivot, which means that if I extend this out into the future, if price breaks below that level, I definitely would want to be thinking about going short, okay? And so we see that again here, thinking about going short. Here, thinking about going short, which we actually were going short. Up here, you can see this was a significant high pivot. And if I extend this out into the future, if price breaks above that, I would be going long. So I could use these significant pivots, 1, 2, 3 reversals, as indications of price movement. If I have this down here, price is likely to continue to go up. And if it doesn't go up, but I wouldn't trade this short until price comes down and breaks that level. Price coming down, break that level, and I would be looking for the profile to sequence properly, to have at least a 75% sequence, which means the blue, red, and green would be in the proper order. The median line here would be helpful, and I would be looking for this down here. So I can see that price is starting to drop. All right, so now here's what I see at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, getting ready to wrap things up here. So I'm seeing that price has given me, it's actually gone down, and I saw that we got a 50 pip profit here that shows in dollars, but I read it in pips, always focusing on the pips. And so at that point, looking at the 15-minute chart, looking at the 1 hour and the daily chart, the daily doesn't help me much because price looks like it's pretty much stagnant up there. But this looks pretty strong coming down. So I moved my stop from the 150 position above entry down 10 pips below entry, locking in 10 pips of profit and going into a free trade. Do that definitely before the weekend. All right, so here you can see that I now have a stop loss at 1.18900, so that's 10 pips below. I still have my same target, and price is down here at the 1.85 level, about 50 pips. Now I could have pulled it down a lot tighter, but if you recall in the last few sessions, every time we pulled the stops tight, what happened? Yeah, we made some good money, but price then reversed and continued to go in the direction that we anticipated. So my thought for this trade was, let's leave the stop as much as possible. Obviously, I've moved it to 10 pips on a strong move to the downside, simply because I want to protect my account. Okay? I don't want to take money out of my account. I only want to take the money from the market. All right, so here we go. That was on Friday. And so here you can see Monday morning, price had moved down significantly, and the MACD was showing me negative, definitely negative. It had moved, lost some negative strength, and then gained some negative strength, starting to move negative strength. So in the morning, local time, just before 9 o'clock Monday, I moved the stop at that point to lock in 50 pips. And you can see down here, we had 138 pips of profit. So at this point, it was just too much for me to say I'm going to leave it at 10 pips when I have 138 sitting in my account. I could have taken all 138 or about 100 of that 138 and put on a tight stop and then watch to see what would happen. But again, because we did that in the last few trades, I wanted to see what would happen and show you that by leaving the stop in place, larger stops, you might have a good chance of picking up more pips, or you could lose those big pips. Losing 100 pips with a pullback is not something that is very pleasant, but hey, we still have 50 pips in our pocket here. All right, so then that was Monday. Then Tuesday evening, took a look here, and we were still basically floundering around the same spot. Okay, still floundering around the same spot. And what you notice here is that the alert and the 1, 2, 3 reversal here both came in at the hard number, okay? So they both came in at the hard number, which told me that I might want to move my stop loss down again. So I moved the stop loss to 1.1825. Again, these are all hard numbers. I'm playing the hard number game here. So now I've locked in 75 pips. Okay. The last time I moved it, it was 1.1850050, and now it's down to 25. And price has ticked on to the hard number 1.800, and it looks like it might want to roll down a little bit more. Okay, so that was Tuesday night. All right, Tuesday night. And so now we'll see what's happening this morning. We were very, very close to getting stopped out, and you can see the price is rising. So of that 150 pip potential that we had, I locked in 75, half of that. Still a good trade by all measures. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what the results will be in just a bit. So let's continue here. Now I want to give you the indication of how do you determine a significant pivot, a 1, 2, 3 reversal. So you can see here what I'm doing. There will be a candle that is forming to the right. So this is a completed candle. That's number one. Okay, the forming candle, completed candle. All right. And so what I want to see is I want to see a high pivot. Okay. Now, here's the thing. So this high has to be lower than, or it might be equal to this high, lower, preferred, and the high prior to that, number 3, needs to be lower. Okay, it might be equal, but lower. Okay, so the high pivot, we got a high pivot here. And that high pivot is where that blue arrow is going to be generated on that high pivot once this number 1 period ends. Now, what confirms, just because we have this pivot doesn't make this a 1, 2, 3 reversal. It's simply a high pivot. What makes it a 1, 2, 3 reversal is that this period number 1, which is a completed period, remember you've got another period forming here to the right, this completed period, all right, the close of that completed period is below the low of the number 3 period, the 3rd period to the left, okay? So you can see here that closes. Now that's the basic 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern. There are some little quirky things that could be different, but that's the basic. And notice I didn't put any colors in here, so the colors really don't matter. There are preferred colors, obviously. This being a green, red being green, 2 being red, and 1 being red. That would be nicer, okay? But this could be red and this could be green, okay? And this could be, well, this has to be, I think, red. Although, you know, if there was a big gap, it could be green. But the basic 1, 2, 3 reversal, okay? You've got a high pivot, and then what makes it a 1, 2, 3 reversal is that the close here, it's a high pivot, so the close is below the low of number 3 here. So that's the high 1, 2, 3 reversal. Here's a low pivot, just the same thing, turned upside down. Now we have a low pivot here again. There is a candle forming to the right here. This is a completed candle with a close. You see this close up here has to be above the high of the number 3 candle here. So 1, 2, 3 looking back. The one that's being formed right now is usually called the 0 period because it has not completed, right? So that's your 1, 2, 3 reversal. Okay, that's the 1, 2, 3 reversal that we look for, and that's what those red arrows showing and the blue arrows, the red and blue arrows on my MT4 chart. That's what they indicate. They indicate where those 1, 2, 3 reversals are. And so if price moved down, I could use this, or I could use this, depending on the direction of my trade. I can use those as stops, right? I can use those as stops. And so price penetrates through that. It would be a stop, or it might be a breakout to the downside or breakout to the upside if price penetrates above that way. And the price profile is strong and has at least 75% sequencing to the upside. And the MACD is giving me a good indication that price wants to go up. Then when all these conditions fall into place, that's when I'm looking at wanting to take a trade. All right, so let's go ahead and see. We'll go to hunting for a target, but before we go to hunting for the target, let's go ahead and take this off. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look at what is price. Oops, come on. What is price doing? Okay. All right, let's go ahead. Come on, why are you not showing here? All right, so here is the 1 hour, or excuse me, here is the daily chart. Oh, I'm sorry, this is the 1 hour chart. This is a 1 hour chart. And you can see here, up here, this blue line, this was where we entered the position. It's where we entered the position, okay? Back here, I think it was back here probably somewhere, popped up, took us in, and you can see this is nice sequencing here. So here we have a 1, 2, 3 reversal. Why? Because this close down here is below the low over here. Okay, let's take a look, see what happened here. All right, so here we go, down here. And so it's telling me that if price breaks above this level, I want to be going long, okay? We also have an alert here. Now, that alert, remember what confirms the alert is a close below the low of the alert period on a downside. And so I've got two very significant indications here that price wants to change direction, okay? Very good, significant indication the price wants to change direction. I look down here and I can see now that we also see in the MACD the positive strength continue was holding and then diminished and started to drop down, okay? And so anywhere in this area here at the close of this candle, there was a very significant, nice 1, 2, 3 sequencing. The guardrail, not the guardrail, the median strip here, the brown line, still was rising again. It takes a little while for that to turn over. But once that happens, we can see that everything, we now have 100% sequencing. So we get another 1, 2, 3 level here, okay? And let's see if I can, there we go, 1, 2, 3 level here, and it keeps going down. We get another 1, 2, 3 level here. We get another 1, 2, 3 level here. Now this is, again, we're looking at an hourly chart. Down here, notice again, we got this very significant change in direction. We got the 1, 2, 3 reversal. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Where the close of this period, the 1 period, number 1, was definitely above the high of period 3. And we see that we have the low pivot here. Okay, low pivot. We got an alert and a 1, 2, 3 reversal simultaneously. And when we look down below here, we see that price started to indicate, and mark that off here, okay? So when the pivot came in, we could see the MACD was also showing that although it was negative, the negative strength started to diminish. because of that blue diamond that came in on the MACD. Another indication is that here we closed just slightly above the green line, and normally if price pulls back and hits the guardrail, remember we called the green line the guardrail, the price could fall back, okay, but it didn't. It continued, and we got sequencing again, and so price did in fact move up. Here, what did we see? Price came up to this level, and boom, again, a nice 1, 2, 3 reversal with an alert. Here is the 1 close below the 3 here, okay? Here's the 1 close below the 3 and high pivot alert. The 1, 2, 3, the number 1 close was definitely below the low of the alert period, so we got confirmation of the alert saying price probably will go down, and so we hit that. It goes down, pulls all the way down here, and now we get an alert that price is going to come up. We did not get a pivot here, right? This close was not above the high, so there was no pivot, but definitely got a confirmed alert because this close was above the high of the alert period. Okay? And so price continued to move up, move up, move up. Now we got another alert saying price possibly will go down. Doesn't look like it would do that simply because the profile was so strong to the upside, okay, on this hourly chart. And so we also looked at the MACD. I look at the MACD and I can see that the MACD is positive. It is showing that it is good strength, increasing strength, and above the signal line. So all of those things tell me that, yeah, even though this is saying, hey, you know what, the algorithm, you know, the information that the algorithm is using says that price is likely to change direction. Nothing else confirms that, okay? And so what we see here is price getting very, very close up here to the stop. And I anticipate that unless something significant happens, we will probably get stopped out at the level here that I put the stop in, and make 75 pips of the 270. Obviously, we could have made, if I coulda, woulda, shoulda, never down here. There was 200 pips to the downside here. Could have made at least 100 or 150 of those 200 pips. But again, just for the sake of education, did not manage the position rigorously, and continue to pull the stops down, and watch for these indications here. All right, so that's what it looks like right now. And I think that I can also, why am I, why does this sit here now? There we go. All right. So what do I want? I'm looking for this. Here was the setup that we originally looked at. Here's price sitting down here, 75 pips. Okay. I want to correlate that. The auto phase, you can see here, auto phase saying that price is moving around. How come I don't understand why? All right, so let me just play with this a little bit. All right, so you can see here, this is the hourly chart. I can move this, look around here, we see the hour. Let's take a look and see what the hourly looks like here. I'm gonna open this up. Pull this down. All right, so look at this. This is a huge, huge sell zone that's sitting up here. It's in the sell zone. Obviously, if it goes up here and hits the UFO and drops down, we would get stopped out in any case. Okay? It's overextended based on the climate. Okay? It's definitely overextended based on the climate. Still showing strength to the upside. So here we can see price. So this is the bottom of that sell zone, and it's sitting right on top of a buy zone. So there's not much that I can do for this setup here. There's not much I can do for the setup. So it's not really going to come down to anything. So again, my thought is that I'll leave this trade on and we'll see what happens. But I expect that we will get stopped out. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some other opportunities. Let's go ahead and see what we can find here. All right, let's go ahead to look at the US yen, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the daily. All right. And open this up so I can see what's going on here. All right. Well, it's telling me that price is down. Okay, we're today. Of course, we don't have the end of the day today, so this could change by the end of the day. On our US yen here, let's take a look. Let's see, 105. What's the level here? 105. That looks like the hard number, 105 even. Okay, 105 even, hard number right there. Okay, so we could put in a buy at the 105, buy at the 105, and let's take a look. So this is coming down. We've got this. I want to see what's below here. I don't see anything below here on the daily chart. So this might be interesting. Let's take a look and see what we come up with on the yen, US yen, on the daily. Okay. So 105 should be right in here somewhere. 105 even. And so let's go ahead and take a look here. We are losing negative strength. So we're losing the negative strength. The MACD is negative, but price is dropping. So we're losing some negative strength here. Pushing up. Let's take a look. All right, so down here somewhere, I'm going to put in a buy limit. Modify that so that the buy limit is at exactly 105. That's a hard number. I like playing the hard numbers. Those are psychological numbers. They are numbers that people are drawn to because basically people are lazy. That's the reason why we have the hard numbers and they work as well as they do. Oh. All right, that looks like, I'll get my magnifying glass out here. Okay, that looks like we put the buy limit at 105. Okay, so the buy limit is at 105. Now, let's go ahead and see if we can. Take a look here. Our stop is going to be at 104. So it's 100 pips of stop. Okay. And our sell, we don't have any sell indications on here. We'll have to look for the sell. We know it's going to be at least 106, right? But I'm looking at about 107. I'm looking at about 107. Why? When I look back here, I can see all this consolidation at the 107 level. So I'm going to go ahead and put the protective stop at 104, easy number, lazy number, 104, hard number, and go ahead. So let's see, we've got this in here, 105, and modify that order. Stop loss is going to be at 104. I just type it in here. $104.000, and our take profit is going to be at 107. See how that shakes out. Looks good. Looks good. All right. We can see here that here is the 1, 2, 3 reversal up here. Okay. 1, 2, 3 reversal. So if price came up and broke this level, we anticipate that it would continue to go higher. Okay. Down here, if price breaks this level, is the 1, 2, 3 reversal on the downside, price could come down here and break that level. So we're looking for price to come down to the 105 here, and stop at 104 and target 107. So that is a 2-to-1, nice 2-to-1 trade. Let's take a look, see how that looks on the trade. Let's see. Well, it's not showing. Let me see if it's back down here. Here it is. Here's our limit order. Okay, here's the limit order. Okay, buy limit, euro, US yen. So the limit price to buy is 105. The stop loss is 104. And the take profit is 107. All nice, easy types of numbers to be looking at. So that's a potential trade that we can take a look at, see what happens with it. If it gets filled later today, let's take a look at the hourly. How does the hourly shake out on this? Okay, we are looking at a possibility for this to come down. It's got to come down from basically 105.60, so it's going to come down 60 pips to take us in. Can it do that today? Possibly, but maybe tomorrow. Again, last week it took 2 days for price to come in, and what can I say? We just haven't looked at. And down here again, price seems to be moving in our favor. If I close this trade now, I would lock in 85 pips. So 10 more pips than the stop. Again, I'm just going to let it run to see what it does, to make the point that sometimes monitoring and managing the trade, locking in your profits is a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing. Sometimes letting it run is a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing. You never really know what is what's the best, because we cannot really predict what price is going to do. So on the 1 hour chart here, again, looking at my indicators, okay, I can see that this is saying that price alerts to the upside on the 1 hour. Okay, let's go back to the daily because that's what we're trading off of, okay? The daily, I need a close above the alert high for it to go up. This is a 1, 2, 3 reversal. 1, 2, 3. The close is definitely above the high. The number 1 close is definitely above the high of the number 3 candle here. You can see that. Okay. So this tells me that price wants to go up. My MACD says that we are negative, and that price is likely to continue down. However, we're losing that negative strength. We're losing that negative strength because we've got these blue diamonds on the MACD here. Now, the other thing that you see here flashing here on the stop loss, this is the Euro USD. That flashing stop loss means we're within 10 pips of the stop loss. Okay, when this turns pink or red or whatever color you want to call this, it flashes. It says that we are definitely within 10 pips of the stop loss. And as I said, I anticipate that we're going to get stopped out. So that is the trade for today. Move this down and see where we are right now. We need to here is, it's a buy limit sitting right here at 105, buy limit 105, stop loss 104, and take profit at 107. So that looks like a pretty good 2-to-1 trade. Hits on all the hard numbers. Not much more. Don't really have time to go ahead and try to find another trade. Let me take a quick look, see if there are any questions. Jerry, okay, is there? All right, so, oh, don't need that. Not much more for this. We'll be closing out this session in just a few minutes. So let me go ahead and move this down, bring this up. Let's look at the hourly and see what we have here. All right, on the hourly, we're down below this sell zone. A lot of selling sitting right on top of us here. Overextended, definitely overextended in the auto climate. 104. Where is 104? Here's 105. Here's 105. This is where we're trying to get to, right? 105. So let me go ahead and mark that. So right about there is the 105. That's our entry. Up here at the 106. 106. That would be our stop. No, I'm sorry. 107 is our target. We're going long. So I'll just take and move that up to 107. Okay. And we'll put our stop down at the 104 level. So there you have it. That's what it looks like. Looks like we're going to run into a lot of resistance, a lot of UFOs up here. So if we get in at the 105 and these levels continue to hold, we might not get a lot out of it. I will go to a free trade and lock in just a few pips just to protect the account in case this comes down. But this is the trade. This is what we've got going. Thanks for watching, and come on back in next week. I'm scheduled for YouTube. Take a look. If I'm not on YouTube, I might be back here on FX Street. So we'll see you at that time. Have a good week, folks. See you again later.